lot to be excited about in this draft at the wideout position. If you could take us through a couple of those guys that David was just talking about and a pro comparison.
Yeah, I'll start with Drake London from USC. And my pro comparison is a guy that we work with, Keyshawn Johnson. Both have tremendous size, but it's really the size with the kind of watery, smooth athleticism. You know, Drake London is this 6'4", 6'5" player, but he doesn't play stiff. He's got really smooth, watery type of hips, and I love that aspect of his game.
All right, so SC to SC comparison. Love it.
Yeah, and big-time type of players. Garrett Wilson, style-wise, play-wise, reminds me of Julio Jones. He's about 3 inches shorter and 20 to 30 pounds less, no doubt, but the violence at the line of scrimmage, I love. He's always catching the ball away from his body with really strong hands, and then his ability to drop his hips at the top of the routes are things that stand out to me. I love his contested ball catching as well. I think his body control is just spectacular. And then Chris Olave reminds me of Keenan Allen, just more vertical speed. I think Keenan Allen's one of the, if not the best route runners in the NFL when it comes to, you know, when to lean on a defender, when to drop your hips, how to get yourself open and separate. And that's what Olave has. But Olave's legit 4.4 speed and Keenan Allen wasn't. And I just think that those three guys are spectacular players. I actually think the two kids from Ohio State, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, are going to be tremendous pros. I think there'll be 6 guys drafted in the first round at that position.
I still think Keenan Allen is one of the most underappreciated wide receivers of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. So we've had so much movement. So we have the Raiders getting Devontae Adams. Kind of sad that he won't be playing in a way with Aaron Rodgers. Dolphins land Tyreek Hill, so we're not going to see Mahomes to Hill anymore. And Amari Cooper goes to the Browns. Obviously, they are teams in great need.
Yeah.
I guess you start with the Jets at the top.
For sure.
Take us through it.
Well, I think the two teams that are really kind of in the need are back to the Chiefs and the Packers because of their decisions, and I think agreeing with both of them to move on from Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill because you still are championship caliber football teams that need that second receiving option. There's so many opportunities to take those guys. I also think there are some sneaky teams like Tennessee. Now that they've moved on from Julio Jones, they've added Robert Woods, but A.J. Brown, do you want a second receiving option? Is a Drake London going to be a guy that fits in? Certainly the Jets, the New England Patriots as well because of their need for a number 1 receiver. And then, you know, 3 sneaky teams that I would add into there: Indianapolis Colts because they need more production out of their wide receivers. The Arizona Cardinals, they really only have DeAndre Hopkins. Now that Christian Kirk is gone, do they try to get a guy like Garrett Wilson? And then the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields and him being such a young player. Again, there are so many good young, and it's such a unique era because, Hannah, years ago when you took a first-round receiver, it was, well, how impactful are they going to be? Jamar Chase had 81 catches last year for 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. 2 years ago, Justin Jefferson had 88 for 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns. So we've seen some of those young receivers come in and immediately be able to not only be good, in some ways dominant in the NFL, and I think there's a couple in this class that will be as well.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.